Hey guys, I've already tried to record this video like 3 times and the camera keeps falling. So hopefully I will get through it this time. I'm already moisturized, so I'm just kind of doing my little routine that I do in the mornings to try to keep my sanity so I don't lose it out of boredom here. And so that I feel a little more like a human. I have no cap on my head today, which I just decided to do because I don't think there's anything to be ashamed about. I got diagnosed and I had hair down the middle of my back. So when they told me that I was going to be losing my hair, I actually had like a cardiac event. Like it was more than just a panic attack, like the whole cardiac team, like my heart went out of rhythm and the whole cardiac team had to like come in and calm me down and make sure I wasn't like gonna have a heart attack because I took it really, really hard. And then when I started actually losing my hair and it started thinning out, it was hard. I didn't think I'd ever be able to shave my head. Definitely did not ever think I would be able to get on camera with a shaved head, but I'm getting used to it, and I actually did shave my own head. Surprisingly, there's just a, like, I don't know, level of liberation, I guess, when you're able to do something like that for yourself. Something that, it's like a facing your fears, I don't know. But yeah, I was able to shave my own head and it was hard, but I don't know, by the end of it I felt really strong. And I wore caps every day, constantly, nonstop, up until recently. Like, I didn't even want to be alone and not have a cap on my head. Like, I could not look at myself in the mirror without one. Now I'm videoing on the internet with no cap, so I feel like that's a lot of progress. I'm happy with it. I'm proud of myself. It's not easy, but it's temporary. It grows back and it's not the end of the world, and I feel that I still have beauty even without my hair, so it's something that has built a lot of strength in me. So I'm getting ready to go down for something called IT chemo. It's intrathecal chemo. It's where they basically go in and do a spinal tap, and they take out some of your spinal fluid and they replace it with chemo so that the leukemia can't like hide in your brain or your spinal fluid. It's a very uncomfortable procedure. I don't know if anyone's had a baby and had like I can't think of the word, like the numbing that they do in your spinal cord. I had to get one. It's kind of similar. It's painful. They do like the numbing injections and stuff, and yeah, it's not fun. I have to get those like once a month basically. But it's necessary, and these doctors definitely know what they're doing, so I can't complain. So I'm getting ready to go down for that, and then I will be doing my regular routine. I've already gotten up and prayed and done my devotional and posted on Facebook a little bit, and doing my makeup now. Probably go on a walk later and read. Try to get some information on my discharge and see where we're at with that, and that's about it. So watch a little TV, fun. I just found out that I'm going to be able to go back to work since there's going to be a few months in between my like my outpatient chemo and my CAR T-cell therapy. I'm gonna have some time in between, so they're allowing me to go back to work for a few months, which I'm happy about, because I am bored out of my mind not working, and I miss it. So I feel like it's gonna kind of give me a sense of purpose and be able to talk to my coworkers. I work remotely, but you know, it's still nice to be a part of a team and have interaction, you know, during the day with people and things like that. So I think that'll be helpful. And yeah, that's about it as far as the updates. I think I'll be returning to work on Monday or Tuesday, and I'll probably be back for about a month to, or I'm sorry, about 4 months to 6 months until I'm ready for the CAR T cell therapy. So that'll be good. So I wanted to share a little bit on, I guess what happened to me, like when I first got diagnosed, like a little bit of that story, just because I think it's interesting, and I don't know, it was like such a God thing for me. I remember at the time I was working 2 jobs. I was doing hair part-time, and I was working my remote medical coding position, and I remember I was like really tired, but I was also working 2 jobs, so I thought part of it was because I was working so much. And like I started having to like take naps during the day and stuff. It was really weird. I never had done that before. I was like very sprightly, very energetic. And then all of a sudden I was like having to crash in the middle of the day. And I had these weird bruises, like me and my ex-husband now. We used to like play fight a lot. Like in bed, we would just like play fight. And I remember we got into like a play fight, like we were wrestling in bed. And I noticed like bruising from it on my like feet and my hands. Like there was like these random little bruises, and it was so strange. And those were the first signs that I noticed before my diagnosis. I also have something called idiopathic intracranial hypertension, which is where your spinal fluid like builds around your brain for no particular reason. It just thinks it has like a brain tumor apparently. And I've had that for over a decade. And I remember I started having like visual issues, but I was on my meds. Like I have to take a diuretic to keep my pressure from building, and I was taking that. Like I wasn't skipping my meds. And normally when I start having like visual changes, it's because I'm not taking the meds that I'm supposed to, like the way I'm supposed to. And I started having visual changes, but it was like on my meds, which is not a normal like symptom of leukemia, but it brought me to the hospital. Like I didn't know what was going on. I thought maybe my meds needed to be increased, or I needed a lumbar puncture to drain the fluid, which is ironically one of the treatment options for IIH. What I had before the leukemia, what I still have, is getting a lumbar puncture and draining that fluid, and now I have to get them for the leukemia. But anyway, it's unrelated. So I go in thinking I needed to get like a lumbar puncture and needing to get my medication adjusted. And they actually, I'll backtrack a little bit because I was working so much, like I almost didn't go to the hospital. I remember I was working my regular like Monday through Friday job, and I saw that there was like a shift that needed to be covered at the salon that I was picking up at. And I tried to cover that shift that day, and in my mind, because this is how like logical I am, I'm like, I'm either going to pick up this shift at the salon, or I'm going to go to the hospital and see what's going on with my vision. And I remember my manager posted that shift, and immediately like I was like, oh, I'll pick up the shift, no problem, I'll pick it up. Like not even 5 minutes after she posted it, and she texts me back. I need my Q-tips for this. She texted me back like 20 or 30 minutes later, and she's like, no, I got it covered, that's okay. And I'm like, okay, I guess I'm gonna go to the hospital. And that's what I did that night. I went to the hospital, and I went to a hospital that was out of town, at one of them that I like worked at, because I trust them more than the hospitals near me. And I got there, and they were like, why are you all the way out here? I'm like, because I don't trust so-and-so hospital. I won't put them on blast online. I'm like, I don't trust that hospital. Like, I trust you guys more. I just felt like this is where I needed to go. And he's like, okay, fair enough. So he goes and does routine blood work. I get like a CAT scan. After I explained to him,
What up?
good morning.
Morning.
Are you guys here for the... Okay.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Everything seems to be okay. So possibly you're going home tomorrow? That's the idea?
Pending the medication.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, because I usually write down in my note the patients that are going the following day, so I can work this out early.
Okay.
For me. So tomorrow I will call the unit, and they say, yes, I put everything together for you. So from my end, everything will be ready for you.
Okay, sounds
right?
good. Thank you so much.
God bless you.
God
Take
bless.
care.
Okay, I lost track where I was at. So I tell them about my visual changes, my medical history and all that. They do a CAT scan. They run some routine blood work. And my white blood cell count comes back like through the roof. Like, not like infection, like, oh, you maybe have an infection. It was like, you have sepsis, you have an autoimmune disease, or you have cancer. Like, your white blood cell count is not normal. I'm like, wonderful. So when they took the blood work, they transferred me to another hospital that was a full service hospital so that they could do the proper testing. And they do the proper testing that I need. They do like blood cultures and all that. And I remember the hematologist coming in to my room, and it was a woman, and she's like, you can walk, you can talk, you don't need to be here, like, you can go home and do this outpatient. I'm like, okay. She came in like 3 different times, and she's like, you don't need to be here, you can go. I'm like, okay. And then I remember the doctor coming in. I don't want to do this color. I remember the doctor coming in, and like the MD coming in, and she's like, I promise we're gonna get to the bottom of what's going on. I'm like, you guys cannot discharge me. Like, I'm not going home with some kind of undiagnosed infection and like to get worse. Like, I'm not. Like, you guys need to figure this out. She's like, we're not gonna send you home, we'll figure out what's going on. And then she leaves, and I remember the hematologist coming in again. She's like, you don't need to be here, you can go home. And I'm like, well, there's obviously something going on, so we need to figure out what's going on. And she kept like arguing with me, and I really thought they were gonna send me home. Like, I remember I got on the phone with my daughter, who was with my my stepmom that day. And I'm like, honey, it sounds like I'm coming home. I'll come home and take you to the park. Don't worry, I'll be home soon. And then I get off that call, and the next thing I know, there's another hematologist coming in, but it's a different hematologist, and it was a man. And his eyes are like deer eyes, like he was scared. And he's like, listen, we got your blood cultures back, and you have leukemia. There's some clinical trials out there that we can try, but your leukemia is extremely aggressive, and you need to go to this oncology unit at a different hospital like immediately and go get treated. And I just remember I'm like shocked. I'm like, I just told my daughter I was coming home. Like why am I getting all this mixed information? Like, what is really going on? Ooh, I do not like that color. So anyway, my husband and me were still together at the time, and I just remember him like I remember this so distinctly, like we just both started like crying. And I was just like, I can't believe this is happening, like in total shock. He's in shock. Next thing I know, I'm getting transported to the oncology unit at another hospital in another town, and I'm there for a month, and they start doing intense chemo treatments on me. And at this point, like, I didn't know. Oh, actually, while I was still in that other hospital, my whole family came to see me because they told me at the hospital I wasn't going to be allowed to get visitors because people were like immunocompromised. So I thought I wasn't gonna have visitors. So like my entire family came up to that smaller hospital to come like visit me. And so I have like a room full of like my family members coming into this hospital to come visit me, thinking I wasn't gonna see them for a month. And so after that encounter, I get to the hospital that I stayed at for the next 4 weeks, thinking I wasn't gonna make it like out of this hospital. I thought I was gonna die. And it was absolutely terrifying. The most horrific experience of my entire life. That first month, my husband was with me every day and night, to his credit. He stayed at the hospital for a full month before he pretty much just stopped coming, and we ended up separating and divorcing and all that good stuff. But he was there that first month because we didn't think I was going to make it. And okay, and basically I get my diagnosis. They do all this DNA testing, and they tell me about this mutation that I have and how bad it is and all that. So just like getting a lot of bad news. It was just really scary. And yeah, so here I am. That was July and it's January. So here I am months later. At the end of my treatment, only 13 cells left to go. Working towards the bone marrow transplant, which if that works, it will be curative and I will survive this. But yeah, that's pretty much what happened and how I got diagnosed. And it was a crazy story. So yeah, that's a little bit about my diagnosis and how I got to where I am now. And yeah, so please continue to pray for me and I will keep you in my prayers. And thank you so much. Thanks for watching. Bye.